Hi everybody, this is Laura's Lovely Black Band, or just Laura, coming to you from my bed. I did a video and I posted it and it was very quiet. Very quiet. I could barely hear it and I had my speakers turned up all the way. So I decided to re-record the video. I'm going to do, if you already watched the other video, I actually just deleted it. So it's the same material, it's going to be the same stuff, just louder so you can hear me. So anyway, I told everybody I was going to post about the seminar that I went to yesterday, the 16th of October, 10 o'clock in the morning, pretty early for me for a Saturday. I was at the Huntington Memorial Hospital in Pasadena. And if you want more information about any of their programs, you can go to huntingtonhospital.com. And you can click on the bariatric surgery program, and it talks about different programs that they have. Anyway, I was in the Braun Auditorium with Dr. David Martin. I'm reading off my notes here, that's what I'm looking over, sorry. So when I showed up, they were doing the video. They already did it. They were about, I don't know, a quarter of the way through the video, and it went all the way, which is videos that you can see at lapband.com, so it was nothing new. Stuff I'd already seen before. And then they showed the video again, I'm guessing for like the latecomers so they can see the video over again. So then Dr. David Martin came up and he started talking about his history and what he's done, and you know, how he's done over 1,000 surgeries and kind of boasting about himself a little bit. And I was the youngest person there, which was kind of weird, but luckily my lovely fiance came with me, and he was there for support. Let's see, the doctor first started talking about comorbidities, high cholesterol, blood pressure, diabetes, etc., things like that, which all run in my family. So it makes me think, again, that, you know, this is the right choice for me to stop them before they happen, because I definitely don't want them happening to me at all. But the things that I have now, currently at my age 27, are knee problems, feet problems. You know, I have my arch on my foot is falling, so I have very embarrassing bunion on my foot, which is not something a 27-year-old should have. Let's see, and back issues, of course, from having a larger chest and a tummy. And then he went on to say some facts that some of them I knew, some of them I didn't know, but I wanted to fill you guys in on. Americans spend $33 billion on weight loss products. Jenny Craig, Nutrisystem, Weight Watchers, diet pills, things like that. $33 billion, which, you know, is a lot of money when people are trying so hard to stay at that perfect weight. And, you know, everybody says that, well, weight loss surgery is the easy way out. And we know it's not the easy way out, but, you know, it helps. It's one, I guess, big lump sum of paying money, but then it's life-changing. You don't have to struggle as much. It's still a struggle, but, you know, it kind of gives you that jump start, that kick in the ass to really make you change your life. More than anything where you could say, I'll choose to be on a diet this week, and, next week, you know, I don't really feel like it, so I'll start the week after, or I'll start the week after. You know how it goes. Obesity is the #1 leading preventable cause of death. Preventable. Passed up smoking a couple of years ago. So it's preventable, but still the #1 leading cause of death. And the number of obese children has tripled in the past 25 years, which is really scary. He also said that this is the first generation that will actually be younger than their parents when they pass away. And my parents were 62. So that's kind of scary. I don't want to be in my 50s passing away. So then he talked about what morbidly obese is and how it's been considered. It started off being, you know, over 100 pounds over your goal weight or your whatever weight. But, you know, that's different for everybody. So then they came to the consensus of a body mass index, and morbidly obese is over 40. Which I am 47, which is scary, because a year ago today, maybe a couple months ago, I wasn't anywhere near that. I was in the 30s. So to know that I've gained this much weight really scares me over the past year, and I didn't even really know it. I didn't feel it, didn't know it, didn't, really see it. He talked about a term called diabesity, where most people who are obese also have diabetes. 46% of obese people have diabetes, which is, not surprising at all to me, growing up with a mom who was overweight, found out she had diabetes, and then decided to do something about it. And, losing the 100 pounds, she was my hero for doing that, but, it didn't change it. She still had it. So, he also talked about exercise, that it shows a very small change, about 7 to 10 pounds. So, exercise and diet. Exercise alone won't do much. Diet alone won't do much. Together, they do work, but in morbidly obese people, it's a 99% failure rate. That's another thing he said, with just trying diet and exercise. And the biggest thing that I thought was most interesting was that in 1991, which was 20 years ago? 20 years ago, yeah. Sorry, I had to do math in my head right there. There was a consensus statement taken in the medical community about surgery and weight loss and morbidly obese people. And this is what it said. Surgery is the most effective option in achieving sustained weight loss in the morbidly obese population. So surgery in 1991, and that was back when they would do, full-fledged surgeries of cutting you open and doing things like that. That was the most effective option. That's what they thought back in 1991. And we've come a long way since then. It's not just taking your stomach and making it smaller by cutting part of it off and redirecting it to someplace else. There's new options like the lap band. And the lap band has actually come a long way. I think he said that the newest one with the 360-degree pillows that go around it is actually the third generation, and it's come a long way as well. Then he went into talking pros and cons of all different kinds of surgery: gastric bypass, the lap band, the sleeve, I guess, where they cut part of your stomach. None of those I was really interested in. I'm more interested in the lap band. But so that's where I'm going to be focusing on. He said the pros and the cons of the lap band. The pros are that there's no rerouting of the body like with the gastric bypass or with the sleeve. They don't have to take a part of you out. They don't cut your stomach and then reroute it, and then you have staples inside of you, which could be scary. And it's reversible if needed. If something medically happens to you, they can take the whole thing out. Or one thing that he had mentioned when I had asked the question about pregnancy is that they could take any fill that you had, they could take it out. If you're having like morning sickness, they could take it all out so that you don't hurt yourself when you're trying to throw up in the morning from being pregnant. The cons, which I don't necessarily consider them cons, they're just some things that people wouldn't consider, are slow weight loss. Some people want a faster approach. Do it fast, do it now, I want it now. But, slow weight loss can actually be a good thing when it comes to exercise, and I'll talk about that later, and excess skin. Regular follow-ups, with this doctor, I think he said monthly for the first 6 months, and then every 3 months after that, which, for a major surgery like this, I would want to be checked up on. Well, not major, but for at least any surgery, I would want to be checked up on. I wouldn't want to be left in the dark wondering what I'm doing. And then it requires an implanted device into your body. A foreign object that is being introduced into your body. And along with that, he did talk about a concept called band erosion, which is something I had never heard of before until I started looking it up on the internet. And it's a concept of, if you have, what he said, socks. You wear socks all day, you take them off. Around your ankle or wherever, there's an imprint in your skin. And, you take the socks off, the imprint goes away. However, if with the lap band, you have an imprint on your stomach, and that can cause your stomach to start eroding away. There's more information if you look it up on Google, band erosion. There's some really good websites that talk about that, but I think I read it's like 2% of people who get the lap band done have band erosion, so it's not even that many. Some websites he talked about were www.asmbs.org, which is like history of the lap band and gastric bypass procedures, and weight loss procedures. Very academic, kind of dry, but you know, if you're into that, then that's what you can look up. And www.obesityhelp.com. It's an information site and has different forums that you can talk to people. If you have any questions, there's different things up, and that one I found to be very useful. He also talked about a support group at Huntington Hospital in Pasadena, California. It's for pre-op and post-op. It's in the Braun Auditorium. It's the third Wednesday of every month from 7 to 9 p.m. If you want more information, it's 626-765-6405, but there also is information at the website, huntingtonhospital.com. And that's actually, I think there's one this Wednesday, the 20th, that I actually plan on attending, just to see people, hear people's real life stories. I mean, over the internet and on YouTube is nice, but real life stories is also good. And then also, there was a question and answer period. At the end, people talked about loose skin. And this is where, you know, losing weight over time plus exercise equals, less excess skin. Not going to erase it completely, but it is going to help with excess skin so that there's not as much. I asked him about having children, and he said that it can be beneficial in some ways for some people. You know, when you're overweight, it can be harder to have children, actually. And so when you start losing the weight, probably about a year later, year and a half, is when you could start having children, or even contemplating having children, because, you know, my fiance and I, you know, we're getting married next May, so I won't be banded before the wedding, but I will be banded after, which is fine with me. You know, anytime rather than later on in life, I think is better. And so then also he said about, you know, making adjustments to your band if you're having morning sickness. Let's see, nutrition. He talked about chewable vitamins, taking pills. You know, if they're smaller than the size of a dime, then they should be fine with going through the port. And then also a low-profile port is something I talked to him about. I know that Banded Wendy had mentioned, you know, why don't they just put a low-profile port in the beginning? And I asked him about that, and he said because of the fat that's in our bodies and where they put the port on the muscle, that it's harder to find the port if it's a smaller one than if it's a regular size one, which, you know, makes sense. But that most people don't have a problem with it unless they lose an extreme amount, more than usual, excessive amount of weight, that it like really bulges out. And then he said that's something that, you know, if you wanted to, you could get it changed, but for most people it doesn't cause, if it's put in correctly, it doesn't cause too much getting in the way of daily life. So that was about it. After that, you know, he had some question and answer period after when everybody left, if you wanted to stay after and talk to him, which we didn't really, you know, talk to him very much, my fiance and I. But when we went out into the lobby, we did see an actual lap band, and I don't know if it was just a smaller version, but it looked actually kind of small to me, and it was around a stomach, and it showed what it would possibly look like. And it's much smaller than I envisioned. I thought it was going to be a little bit larger, but it actually wasn't, which is nice, because imagining something really huge in my body is kind of like, scary. So I have a doctor's appointment. I made a doctor's appointment for exactly a month from today, I believe. So when I go to the doctor, I will definitely post saying what my doctor said and my progression. And then also Wednesday, hopefully, I will be able to make the meeting. Cross my fingers. You know, I might be tired. I don't know. But I will try and make an appointment to go to the meeting and come back to you guys with some information. And also how I'm feeling then about doing it and seeing people and concerns and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So Hope you guys have a good night, and I hope you guys can hear this video much better than the other one.